From procrastination to podcastination. Welcome to JSC Podcast. I'm your host, Olani Miller, and I have with me my brother right over here.
And my name is Brother X, and welcome to another episode of JSC Podcast. But today we have a very interesting guest. Her name is Ovayo Tapile. Ovayo Tapile, thank you for accepting our invitation. So just tell us, how does it feel to be finally on the platform of JSC Podcast?
Speaking the truth, I looked very forward to this day, and I feel very honored to be one of the lucky candidates to be interviewed by the JSC Podcast hosts, and this makes me feel very delighted, and one of the important members who play a significant and vital role in shaping the future of the youth, and who has a great influence on the youth of this community, because it takes a great and
I you see the word that you just say, I can just feel it in my spirit. So, Miss Ovayo, tell us, what made you accept our invitation?
Let me just be honest. It wasn't an easy decision-making thing that I could just do over one night, but it took me about 2 days to think about it, because at the same time I have to think about facing my fears and getting here on camera and facing you guys, and then you're going to speak about how to empower the youth. But what really got to my mind and made me to accept the invitation is just the fact that you, like it said, that we're going to be speaking about how factors that to empower the youth, and like the youth, everything about the youth just interests me, and finding ways to empower and improve the youth, because they are our future leaders, just confides in me. So that's why I agreed.
Wow, very beautiful said, Miss Ovayo. So now, let us get into the topic of today. But let me not spill the beans for you. I want my brother here to introduce the topic of today.
No, thank you. The topic for today, it just came to me. I'll just give the background of the topic. Many times, so this podcast, the whole purpose for it was to empower the minds of the youth. And one thing that really came to me is that there's already an assumed identity of the youth. Always told you are the future, you are the this and the this and the this, you are that and that and that and that. But for me, I believe when it comes to empowerment, your identity. In fact, what I want to talk about today is national identity. And I'll sort of explain about it. Your national identity as a youth. First of all, when we look around, in fact, we were voting, 2 days ago, we were voting. And I believe that we as youth, I don't think we really played a crucial role. I don't think we really played a big part of it. In fact, if we are going to talk about the last time we played a big part in our country, in our nation, it was probably 1976. Or probably the 1980s, the 1980s where we were like protesting over Kukwele Tunyang and all that. I feel like that's the last time whereby the youth was taken into account. The last time we made an impact on our nation. Not just on social media, not just on social media, not just on trending news, not just on videos, not just on trying to be all influential and stuff, but when's the last time we banded together or stood together like the students of 1976 and said, listen, we are youth, we have a place here, we do have a national identity, we do identify also to be part of the struggle against apartheid. Now, in our time here, I just want us to sort of discuss that, as our youth. If we're going to be empowered, if we want our minds to be empowered, I believe that this is something we have to really talk about. you know. So for me, I believe as we're talking here, it's a podcast. We share our views, our opinions. But I just want us to know to just plant the seed of such a discussion, you know, because for me, I think about this. Our parents mostly assume the role, our grandparents assume the role, presidents assume the role, our teachers assume the role, but what about us? You get what I mean? Like, do I sort of make sense?
Yeah, you definitely do.
That sort of makes sense. What do you say as youth? You know?
So from there, our parents, our presidents, everybody assumes our role. But today, let us hear, what does the youth have to say about their identity in society? Ms. Alayo, will you please? The floor is yours.
Okay, so I do really get your point, and somehow it is really about what do you say, what does the youth say, not what does the president or what does our parent or what does the past generation believe for the youth to be. But as the youth, as young as I am part of the youth. Yeah, I will say that the past generation do expect a lot of us, right? And that creates very much pressure, which oppresses and leads us to very wrong decision making that navigates our lives into mysterious, and we find ourselves in dark places whereby we didn't expect it, or we didn't want to be in that place. By the pressure that they create and their high expectations and beliefs of what the youth should be like. We are the the new generation who don't do things the same way that they did, who don't play the role that they expect us to play, because in the past, as you said, during the apartheid, the 1960s and the 19 whatever, they fought against, it was the youth that fought against the Bantu education systems and those other disadvantaging systems, right? But to give us, the new generation, a better future. But what do? We let those opportunities slip through our hands, as we do have great opportunities that they expect us to use to much larger extents, and to take it to useful considerations. But what do? Ungrateful brats, we let that slip through down the drain. So yeah, that's what many past generations who played a vital role in shaping the country's future expect nowadays youths to do, is to appreciate everything. But they don't know, when you are born with something, you do not know the significance of that something. When you have those privileges, you do not know the significance and the privilege. You are not aware of the privileges that you have, right? Either than a child who is born without those privileges, who is longing for those things. But when those things are lost, that's when you start realizing that, oh, that was one thing that I should have heard almost. And so what I want to tell to the audience, and also you guys to take into much consideration, is that do not blame us, the new generation, the youth, for not taking much things into much consideration, as though our forefathers and the past generation does take that into much consideration, because they fought for it. So something that you fight for and you work hard for is something that you are selfish with. You don't want to share it, right? But because we, us, this future generation, the youth, we came here and we found these things already here for us, waiting for us to appreciate it. But what did we do? We just let them slip we let them slip down the drain, and we don't appreciate them because we didn't work hard to earn it. We just found it there. Just like money, when you found it laying around, you use it.
Anyhow.
Yeah,
Wow, I could pick up on the sense of that the youth, in your words, that they are selfish. So the youth is selfish, they are ungrateful. And the reason for being is that they ain't doing nothing new. They are comfortable in the homes that has already been created for them.
Yeah, that's 100%
So
correct. And
So I believe we are in those weak men states, I guess.
yeah.